So today I will be presenting my music identity project. All right, here we go. So here are my top 10 songs in no particular order. I have my 10 up here, and then I have some honorable mentions down here at the bottom. These aren't songs that like they didn't quite make the cut, but because I was totally a nerd about this, I didn't feel comfortable like not mentioning that these songs had something to do with my development. But you can read the list of these songs. And basically, how I kind of curated this list was like there are some songs on here that I think lyrically describe me and how I process my emotions or how I see myself to a T. So like Unforgiving Girl by Car Seat Headrest, I think that song is really, it describes me. You have Zero by the Smashing Pumpkins, which is how I would like to be perceived. Or Your Cat by Slaughter Beach Dog, which is also how I would really love to like people to see me and they're like, wow, this reminds me of you. I'd be very thankful if that was the case. And then you have or songs like Nothing Came Out by the Moldy Peaches is another one. Great song. I really think it describes me well. And then you have songs like Sober to Death or Line Without a Hook that, maybe I don't totally relate to lyrics, but I think the story that's being told is really beautiful. And I think the melody is something that's really powerful and moving. So it's just like I love the sound of the song, I love the words that are being said, even if it doesn't accurately describe my situation. All right, and then the song that I chose that I think best represents me and my identity is Maggot by Daisy and the Scouts. This is one of my all-time favorite songs, has been one of my favorite songs for a very long time. And basically what the song is about is lead singer Leah Jaff wrote the song while in a hospital bed about her struggles with multiple concepts that she was dealing with in her life. The band as a whole covers a lot of issues of people who are transgender. So there's this whole sense of the song about belonging and feeling like someone doesn't belong, whether it's in their setting or in their own skin. But it's kind of this multifaceted issue, or like there's many layers to the song. So like on one hand, you could see it from this lens of an individual being trans. You could see it from the lens of mental health and depression, anxiety, suffering with those types of things. You could also see it from a standpoint of love, like taking it very literally in the song. There are two characters. There's Jaff herself, who is described as kind of being this like little bit of a low life, doesn't have much to contribute, doesn't really see where they belong, doesn't really see the point. And then you have you that they're called in the song, who is the maggot, who sees this dead thing and is like, I'm going to keep eating at it and not really helping, but I'm going to use this poor person situation to my own benefit. So it's a really interesting concept. And I think that is something that can be pretty universal. I like how universal these lyrics are, that they can kind of adapt to any situation. Because on one hand, you could be a significant other who you don't think is healthy for you, or a friend who you feel like just kind of beats you while you're down. There's this, I included it at the end here, but there's this powerful refrain at the end of the song, which is saying like, what's your best secret? You can trust me. You're hanging beside me on the same tight clothesline. You can see that these two things live very close to one another. And it says, here's my best secret. I'm just hoping I'm not dirty laundry. And I think that is to show that you have these two things, and Jaff sees one of them as being pure and themselves as being dirty. And those two things, because they are so close, they almost foil one another. So I think that's just another added layer. But I think really how I've seen it is this song is so universal because these themes of depression and love, unfortunately, can live in very similar houses. And the situations themselves can feel can unfortunately be almost one and the same. So moving on, this is my personal connection to it. Here are some photos of me throughout the years, although I think these all were taken in the past year, but anyways. So it says on all fronts, it's one of my favorite songs. The song itself, I think, is like so powerful. It's something that I can like cry to or like belt out top of my lungs, like in my car. So that's always super fun. I think it incorporates my favorite genres. I think it's a beautiful homage to the Riot Grrrl genre from like the late 80s and 90s. But the song itself kind of fits more of a grunge or punk music. And in the album itself, the album is called Maggot, but there's a lot of different sounds that are played with that I think is just amazing. I think it's so cool. Aside from the power melody, I relate to the song because I have struggled with finding where exactly I kind of fit in to this whole world. I have never fit a certain mold, and I've never fit under necessarily a certain label. And I think I've dealt with this idea when people see that I change my appearance a lot. I try to style myself in ways that I feel comfortable, but they're a little bit more eccentric. People assume that's for others and not before they assume that it's for myself. And I can't help but wonder how much of that is because of my gender or just because of the things that I wear that don't fit conventional beauty standards. Similarly, I have never been your traditional school sense of smart. I get distracted very easily. And I also take way too much on my shoulders because I'm just like gung ho, I can do it. And I think sometimes that can hurt because then I feel like I'm letting these people down when I don't perform. But when I'm really passionate about something, I really completely devote myself to that subject. And I've had to kind of learn in these past few years or months or however long that you know, I'm good enough. I don't need to explain myself to anyone. And I am smart in my own respects. So we're all smart in our different ways. I'm only human, the quote that it says. I don't know if you want to read that. Another reason I just really like the song is there's a lot of references that I understand. I feel like I am a part of the story. References to like Kurt Cobain and things like that. And Jaff describes a lot of these issues and then we'll add a joke, which I think is super similar to how I cope with my emotions. I like to throw in lots of jokes, try to keep it as lighthearted as possible. So she will talk about these struggles and then she'll be like, I'm just like Kurt Cobain, which is like, you probably shouldn't relate to Kurt Cobain for those reasons, but like glad you're finding something that you can take out of this. All right, well, thank you so much. And then this right here, I can exit this. If anyone is interested, I can try to see if I will let me. Okay, if anyone's interested, I can try to send this out. But this is basically a Spotify link to a playlist with all of my songs on it, just that I made for me. And the quote is, I know I personally rocked, but I never suggested we rocked as a unit, which is a quote from one of my favorite movies. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching my project. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you saw some songs you knew. And yeah, thank you so much.